Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant noise of everyday life? Do you find yourself yearning for a moment of peace, a time when you can just be alone with your thoughts? What if I told you that true power lies in that very solitude? In a world filled with distractions and endless connections, the ability to embrace being alone can be a transformative experience. Today, we dive into the profound insights Buddhism offers about the power of solitude. Imagine this. You're sitting in a bustling cafe, surrounded by chatter and clinking cups. Yet, amidst the chaos, you pull out a book, and for those few moments, the world fades away. That feeling of being fully absorbed in your own space is a glimpse into the power of being alone. It's a simple example, but it holds a key to understanding how solitude can enrich our lives. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a channel dedicated to exploring the depths of knowledge and insights that can change your life. If you're finding value in our content, remember, there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel to join a community that values wisdom and growth. As we embark on this journey together, we'll explore how solitude can serve as a path to clarity, self-discovery, and inner peace. You'll learn how the teachings of Buddhism illuminate the ways we can harness the power of being alone, turning what many see as loneliness into a source of strength and wisdom. Stay tuned as we uncover the incredible potential that lies within solitude and how it can transform your life. Embracing silence, the path to inner clarity. In our busy lives, silence often feels like a rare gem, something we must seek out rather than experience naturally. But silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a powerful state that can help us connect with our true selves. When we embrace silence, we open the door to inner clarity and understanding. Think about a time when you were surrounded by noise, perhaps the hum of traffic, the chatter of friends, or the buzz of your phone. In such moments, your mind races, thoughts collide, and finding a moment of clarity feels impossible. Now, picture stepping away from that chaos, finding a quiet space, and allowing yourself to just be. It's in those quiet moments that we often discover the answers we've been searching for. Buddhism teaches us that silence is not just a lack of sound. It is a state of mind. When we enter silence, we create a sacred space for reflection. It is in this space that we can observe our thoughts without judgment. We can see our fears, hopes, and desires clearly, and we learn to understand ourselves on a deeper level. The noise of the world can drown out our inner voice, but silence allows us to tune back in. Imagine you are in a serene garden, the gentle rustle of leaves providing a soft background. Here, you are free to think, to feel, and to breathe. Each moment of silence becomes an invitation to explore your inner landscape. What do you find when you look within? Is there tension or peace? Is there confusion or clarity? This exploration is essential for personal growth. Buddhism encourages us to practice mindfulness, which is closely tied to the experience of silence. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, fully engaged with our thoughts and feelings without distractions. When we practice mindfulness in silence, we learn to appreciate the simple act of being alive. We become aware of our breath, the sensations in our body, and the thoughts that come and go. To practice this, you might find a quiet corner in your home or a peaceful spot in nature. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. As you exhale, let go of the day's worries and distractions. Allow your mind to settle. At first, this might feel challenging. Thoughts will rush in, and you may feel restless. That's okay. The key is to acknowledge those thoughts and let them drift away like leaves on a stream. Over time, as you practice embracing silence, you'll notice the world around you begins to shift. Colors become more vibrant, sounds more distinct. You may find that you react to situations with greater calm and clarity. This is the beauty of silence. It sharpens your awareness and helps you to respond rather than react. In Buddhist teachings, silence is often associated with wisdom. When we are silent, we are more open to listening, both to ourselves and to the world. We begin to hear the subtle messages that life has to offer. This listening is not just about hearing words. It's about understanding deeper truths and insights. As we embrace silence, we also learn to let go of our attachment to constant stimulation. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking distraction, scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, or filling every moment with noise. But these distractions can lead us away from self-discovery. When we choose silence, we reclaim our power. Consider this. When you remove the distractions, what truths do you uncover about yourself? What dreams have you buried beneath the noise of everyday life? Silence invites us to reconnect with those dreams, to explore our passions and aspirations. It reminds us of what truly matters. Moreover, embracing silence can improve our relationships. When we cultivate the ability to listen deeply, we create space for others to express themselves fully. Instead of rushing to fill the silence with our own words, we allow the conversation to breathe. This practice fosters deeper connections and understanding, whether with friends, family, or even strangers. In Buddhist monasteries, silence is often a fundamental practice. Monks spend long periods in silence to cultivate inner peace and clarity. This commitment to silence allows them to deepen their understanding of themselves and the world around them. While we may not live in a monastery, we can adopt this principle in our daily lives. Small moments of silence, during a walk, while sipping tea, or even in meditation, can significantly enhance our well-being. As we continue on this journey, remember that silence is not something to fear. It is a powerful ally. The more we embrace it, the more we open ourselves to the beauty of life. So, let us practice stepping into silence, allowing it to guide us toward inner clarity and self-discovery. Understanding Buddhist solitude, the path to enlightenment. In Buddhism, solitude is not simply about being alone. It is a profound state of being that leads to greater understanding and enlightenment. This concept may seem strange in a world that often values constant interaction and noise, but let's take a moment to explore why solitude is cherished in Buddhist teachings. Imagine a clear, still lake. When the surface is calm, you can see the reflection of the sky and trees around it. But when the wind blows and the water ripples, the reflection becomes distorted. Our minds are much like that lake. In our busy lives, filled with distractions and chatter, our thoughts can become clouded. Solitude provides the stillness necessary to see ourselves clearly. When you practice solitude, it creates a space for introspection. You can sit quietly and observe your thoughts without judgment. This is where the magic happens. In that silence, you can begin to understand your true nature. You might ask yourself, who am I when no one is watching? What are my true desires and fears? These questions can lead you on a journey to discover the essence of who you are, free from the expectations of others. Buddhism teaches us that by stepping away from external influences, we can tap into our inner wisdom. The Buddha himself often sought solitude. He spent years meditating alone in the forest, away from the distractions of society, to find enlightenment. This journey into solitude was not about escaping the world, but about understanding it, and himself, more deeply. Furthermore, solitude allows for a deeper connection with our thoughts and emotions. In this quiet space, we can confront our feelings without the influence of others. It is here that we learn to embrace both joy and sorrow, love and fear. Rather than running from uncomfortable emotions, we can face them head-on. This acceptance is a powerful step towards healing and self-growth. Think of solitude as a retreat for your mind and spirit. Just as we need physical rest, our minds need a break from the constant influx of information and stimulation. In this sanctuary, we can recharge. It is a time for reflection, for understanding our motivations, and for reconnecting with our core values. This time spent alone can ultimately lead to a more authentic and fulfilled life. Solitude also nurtures mindfulness. When we are alone, we can practice being present in the moment without distractions. This can be achieved through meditation or simply by observing nature. Consider taking a walk in a quiet park. Feel the breeze on your skin, listen to the rustling leaves, and notice the beauty around you. This simple act can ground us and remind us of the interconnectedness of all things. In Buddhism, the idea of mindful solitude is essential. This is about being fully aware of your thoughts and surroundings while in a state of solitude. It's an opportunity to witness your mind without becoming attached to your thoughts. Instead of identifying with them, you learn to observe them as they pass by, like clouds in the sky. This practice can be incredibly liberating. But what about the fear of loneliness? Many people shy away from solitude because they equate it with loneliness. In Buddhism, loneliness is seen as a misperception. When you are comfortable being alone, you can recognize that solitude does not mean being lonely. Instead, it is a choice to connect with yourself on a deeper level. Embracing solitude can lead to a sense of wholeness, where you find contentment within yourself. Through this journey into solitude, we also learn compassion. As we come to understand our own suffering and struggles, we become more empathetic toward others. We begin to realize that everyone has their own battles to fight. This deeper understanding fosters a sense of connectedness, even in our alone time. It reminds us that we are all part of the same human experience. In conclusion, Buddhist solitude is not a mere escape from the world. It is a pathway to enlightenment, self-discovery, and mindfulness. It encourages us to look within, confront our thoughts and emotions, and ultimately find peace. Embracing solitude allows us to understand ourselves better and strengthens our connections with others. In a world that often glorifies busyness, the power of solitude can lead us back to our true selves, guiding us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. As you reflect on these ideas, consider how you can carve out moments of solitude in your own life. What practices can you adopt to embrace this powerful tool? Remember, it's not about being alone. It's about finding the strength, clarity, and wisdom that comes from within. Mindfulness and the power of present moments. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get lost in our thoughts, worries, and distractions. We often find ourselves ruminating about the past or stressing over the future. But what if we could learn to focus on the present moment? This is where mindfulness comes in, a key concept in Buddhism that helps us tap into the power of now. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being fully present in whatever we are doing. It's about observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment and experiencing life as it unfolds. When we embrace mindfulness, we stop letting our minds wander and start to truly engage with the world around us. Imagine taking a walk and being completely aware of every step you take, the sound of leaves crunching underfoot, and the feeling of the breeze on your skin. This is the essence of mindfulness. To practice mindfulness, you don't need to retreat to a mountaintop or sit in a lotus position for hours. It can be woven into your daily life. Start by taking a few moments each day to pause. Breathe deeply and focus on your breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, then slowly release it. This simple act can ground you and bring you back to the present. When you eat, really pay attention to your food. Notice the colors, textures, and flavors. Chew slowly and savor each bite. This not only enhances your enjoyment of the meal, but also helps you cultivate gratitude for the nourishment you receive. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is often compared to a flashlight illuminating the dark corners of our mind. When we shine this light on our thoughts and feelings, we gain clarity. We begin to recognize patterns in our thinking, what serves us and what holds us back. With this awareness, we can let go of unhelpful habits and reactions that keep us stuck. Mindfulness can also be a powerful tool for managing stress. When we focus on the present, we realize that many of our worries stem from thoughts about things that have not yet happened. By grounding ourselves in the now, we can reduce anxiety and feel more at ease. Another key aspect of mindfulness is acceptance. Instead of fighting against our feelings or situations, we learn to acknowledge them. If you're feeling sad or anxious, it's okay to sit with those emotions. By accepting them, rather than pushing them away, we create space for healing and understanding. This acceptance doesn't mean we have to stay stuck in negativity. It simply allows us to observe our feelings without being overwhelmed by them. In Buddhism, there's a saying, "This too shall pass." This reminds us that everything is temporary, including our emotions. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to ride the waves of our feelings, knowing that they will come and go like the tides. This understanding helps us not to identify too closely with our emotions. Instead of saying, "I am anxious," we can say, "I am experiencing anxiety." This small shift in language can make a big difference in how we relate to our feelings. The practice of mindfulness also deepens our relationships. When we are present with others, we listen more intently and respond more thoughtfully. Instead of thinking about what we will say next while someone is speaking, we can truly hear their words. This fosters deeper connections and creates a sense of understanding and empathy. Mindfulness is a skill that can be developed over time. Just like any practice, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Start small. Set aside just a few minutes each day to focus on your breath or engage fully in an activity. As you grow more comfortable with mindfulness, you can gradually extend this practice into other areas of your life. It's important to remember that mindfulness isn't about achieving perfection. It's about being human, experiencing the ups and downs of life with awareness. Some days, you may find it easy to be present, while other days may feel more challenging. That's okay. The key is to approach each moment with kindness toward yourself. Ultimately, embracing mindfulness allows us to tap into the power of the present moment. It helps us cultivate a sense of peace and contentment, even amidst life's challenges. By learning to focus on what is happening right now, we open ourselves up to a richer, more meaningful experience of life. As we continue this journey of understanding the power of solitude, remember that mindfulness is a tool that can guide us in moments of silence. It invites us to explore the depths of our thoughts and emotions, revealing the beauty that lies within. So, take a deep breath and let's embrace the present together. The art of letting go, detaching from external noise. In our fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with noise. It's not just the sounds we hear, but also the thoughts and worries that swirl in our minds. Letting go of this external noise is an essential step towards finding peace within ourselves. This is a key principle in Buddhism, learning to detach from the distractions that pull us away from the present moment. Imagine you're walking in a forest. The trees are tall and the air is fresh, yet your mind races with thoughts about work, relationships, or future worries. These distractions can cloud your mind and keep you from experiencing the beauty around you. In these moments, it's important to remember the teachings of the Buddha, who emphasized the need to observe our thoughts without attachment. To practice letting go, start by acknowledging your thoughts as they arise. Instead of trying to push them away, simply notice them. Picture your thoughts as clouds passing through the sky. They come and go, but the sky remains unchanged. This simple visualization can help you cultivate a sense of detachment. You realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. This practice of detachment isn't about becoming emotionless or indifferent. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of unnecessary burdens. Many of us carry the weight of past regrets or future anxieties. Letting go means releasing these weights so you can walk more freely through life. Buddhism teaches that clinging to things, whether they're material possessions, relationships, or even our own beliefs, can lead to suffering. By practicing detachment, we can ease this suffering. Consider the concept of impermanence, a central idea in Buddhism. Everything in life is transient. The feelings we have, the experiences we encounter, and even the people we love will change over time. By accepting this truth, we can learn to appreciate moments as they come without clinging to them. When we grasp tightly to the past or future, we miss out on the beauty of the present. Embracing impermanence allows us to live fully in each moment. Let's take a moment to reflect on a personal experience. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by a situation. Maybe it was a stressful job, a difficult relationship, or a challenging project. In that moment, how did it feel to hold on tightly to the emotions tied to those challenges? Now imagine what it would feel like to let go. Picture yourself releasing those feelings like balloons floating into the sky. As they drift away, notice the sense of lightness that follows. This is what it means to let go. One effective method to practice letting go is through meditation. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in calmness and clarity. As you breathe out, visualize releasing all the noise and distractions of your day. With each exhale, let go of worries, doubts, and anything that doesn't serve you in this moment. This practice not only helps clear your mind, but also trains you to detach from the chaos around you. In your daily life, you can also cultivate a habit of mindfulness. Mindfulness encourages you to focus on the present moment without judgment. When you find your mind wandering or getting caught up in external noise, gently bring your attention back to the here and now. Whether you're eating, walking, or simply sitting, Immerse yourself fully in that experience. This awareness helps you appreciate the beauty of life as it unfolds. Another powerful tool for letting go is gratitude. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our mindset. Make a daily practice of noting down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your skin or a smile from a stranger. This practice helps you detach from the noise of negativity and appreciate the richness of your life. As you continue to explore the art of letting go, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. There will be moments when you feel overwhelmed again, and that's okay. Each time you practice detachment, you strengthen your ability to navigate life's ups and downs. Just as a tree bends in the wind without breaking, you too can learn to adapt and grow amid life's challenges. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, it's a mark of strength. It takes courage to face our fears, release our attachments, and embrace the unknown. In doing so, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. When we let go of what no longer serves us, we create space for growth, joy, and deeper connections with ourselves and others. As we conclude this part, remember that the art of letting go is a continual practice. With each step, you're moving closer to a life filled with peace and clarity. Embrace the silence that comes with letting go, and allow it to guide you towards a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Through this journey of detachment from external noise, you will find the strength to fully experience life's beauty, one moment at a time. Solitude as self-discovery, finding your true nature. In the quiet moments of solitude, we often find a mirror reflecting our true selves. It can be daunting to look into that mirror. Many of us prefer to stay busy, filling our lives with noise and distractions to avoid facing who we really are. But the essence of solitude is not about isolation. It's about uncovering layers of our identity hidden beneath the surface. When we allow ourselves to be alone, we create a space for introspection. Think of solitude as a blank canvas. In this stillness, we have the chance to paint our thoughts, emotions, and dreams without the influence of the outside world. This canvas is where our true nature begins to emerge. Buddhism teaches us that knowing ourselves is the first step to understanding our place in the universe. When we sit quietly with ourselves, we start to listen to our inner voice. This voice often reveals what we truly desire, what we fear, and what we need to let go of. These revelations can be liberating. They help us distinguish between the roles we play in society and our authentic selves. Imagine you are on a quiet retreat in nature, far away from the hustle and bustle. You may feel a sense of anxiety at first. What will I do without my phone? What if I feel lonely? But as the days pass, something beautiful begins to happen. You might notice the gentle rustle of leaves or the way the sunlight dances on the water. These simple observations can awaken a sense of wonder that you've forgotten. As you sit in this solitude, you may find that thoughts begin to bubble up. Memories, aspirations, regrets. At first, they may feel overwhelming, but gradually, they become clearer. You start to understand that these thoughts are not who you are. They are simply experiences you've had. This is a key insight from Buddhist practice. We are not our thoughts. We can observe them without judgment, letting them flow like a river, while we remain the still observer on the bank. This practice of self-observation leads to deeper self-awareness. You might uncover talents or passions you've neglected. Perhaps you love painting but have never taken the time to explore it. In solitude, you might pick up a brush and discover joy you didn't know existed. This process is not about achieving perfection. It's about the exploration of who you truly are. Solitude also helps us confront our fears. We all have fears. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being alone. When we face these fears head-on, we take away their power. In solitude, you can ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Often, when we shine a light on our fears, they lose their grip on us. We realize they are not insurmountable obstacles, but rather challenges we can overcome. Another powerful aspect of solitude is the opportunity for reflection. Think about moments in your life when you faced challenges. How did you respond? What did those experiences teach you? When you reflect on these moments, you can gain valuable insights into your character and resilience. Solitude allows you to process these experiences without external distractions, enabling you to learn from them. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of mindfulness in this process. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. In solitude, you can practice mindfulness by focusing on your breath, sensations in your body, or the sounds around you. This practice grounds you, bringing clarity and calmness to your mind. As you become more attuned to yourself, you may also begin to notice your values and beliefs. What matters most to you? What do you stand for? These realizations often emerge during quiet moments of contemplation. You may discover that your values align with your true self, or you may find discrepancies between your life and what you genuinely believe. This awareness can be a powerful catalyst for change, prompting you to align your actions with your core values. When you embrace solitude as a means of self-discovery, you also cultivate a deeper sense of compassion for yourself. It's easy to be critical of ourselves, especially in a fast-paced world that often promotes comparison. But in solitude, we can practice self-love and acceptance. We learn to forgive ourselves for past mistakes and appreciate our journey, recognizing that every experience has shaped us. As we continue to explore solitude, we also uncover the beauty of interconnectedness. Buddhism teaches us that we are all part of a larger whole. Even in our solitude, we are never truly alone. This realization can bring comfort and a sense of belonging. It reminds us that our journey of self-discovery is part of a shared human experience. In this interconnectedness, we begin to understand that our true nature is not isolated, but rather part of a vast tapestry of existence. When we embrace our individuality, we contribute to the beauty of the whole. Our unique experiences and perspectives enrich the lives of others, creating a cycle of growth and understanding. In conclusion, solitude is not merely an absence of company. It is a profound opportunity for self-discovery. Through quiet reflection and mindfulness, we can peel away the layers of our identity and connect with our true selves. This journey may be challenging, but it is also incredibly rewarding. Embracing solitude opens the door to a deeper understanding of who we are and allows us to live more authentically. So take a moment, find a quiet space, and embark on this journey within. The discoveries awaiting you may transform your life in ways you never imagined. Buddhist meditation, the gateway to inner peace. In our fast-paced world, where distractions are everywhere, finding a moment of peace can feel impossible. But what if I told you that the answer lies within? Buddhist meditation is a powerful practice that allows us to tap into that inner peace and connect deeply with ourselves. Let's explore how this practice can transform your experience of solitude and lead you to a more fulfilling life. Imagine sitting quietly, the world around you fading away. Your mind is like a restless monkey, jumping from thought to thought. This is how many of us begin our meditation journey. But through practice, we learn to calm that monkey and settle into a state of mindfulness. This is the essence of Buddhist meditation, being fully present in the moment without judgment. At its core, meditation teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. It's not about silencing the mind completely. Rather, it's about acknowledging thoughts as they arise and letting them drift away, much like clouds passing in the sky. When we allow ourselves to just be, we create a space for peace and clarity. Buddhism offers various forms of meditation, each with its unique benefits. One popular method is mindfulness meditation. In this practice, you focus on your breath. You may begin by simply noticing each inhalation and exhalation. As thoughts come in, acknowledge them and gently guide your focus back to your breath. Over time, this practice cultivates a sense of calm and helps you become more aware of your surroundings and your emotions. Another form is loving kindness meditation. This involves silently repeating phrases of goodwill towards yourself and others. It begins with self-love, then expands to friends, family, and even those you may struggle with. This practice nurtures compassion and helps dissolve feelings of isolation, reminding us that we are all interconnected. As you delve deeper into meditation, you may discover the concept of impermanence. Buddhism teaches that nothing stays the same. Everything changes. This understanding can be incredibly liberating. When we meditate, we learn to let go of attachments and the weight of past experiences. Instead of clinging to what was, we learn to embrace the present moment. Solitude can often feel daunting, We might fear being alone with our thoughts, but through meditation, we learn that this can be a gift. It's an opportunity to explore our inner landscape, confront our fears, and recognize our true selves. Each session brings us closer to understanding who we are beneath the layers of societal expectations and external noise. Furthermore, regular meditation practice can enhance our emotional well-being. Studies have shown that those who meditate experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. This isn't just anecdotal. There's scientific evidence backing it up. When we meditate, we activate areas of the brain associated with positive emotions and resilience. Let's not forget the power of community in meditation. While solitude is essential, practicing with others can deepen your understanding and commitment. Many Buddhist communities offer group meditation sessions, where the energy of collective mindfulness amplifies individual experiences. It's a beautiful reminder that, even in solitude, we're part of something greater. As you continue to practice, you may notice changes in your daily life. The benefits of meditation extend beyond the cushion. You may find yourself responding to challenges with more patience and clarity. Situations that once triggered frustration may now feel manageable. This is the transformative power of meditation. It helps you cultivate a sense of peace that resonates throughout your life. Lastly, it's important to approach meditation with kindness towards yourself. There will be days when sitting in silence feels easy, and others when your mind races with thoughts. This is normal. The key is consistency and compassion. Celebrate the small victories, like simply sitting down to practice, even if your mind wanders. Each moment spent in meditation is a step towards greater awareness and inner peace. In conclusion, Buddhist meditation is a profound tool for navigating the journey of solitude. It allows us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level, fostering peace, compassion, and understanding. So, whether you're new to meditation or have been practicing for years, remember that this practice is a lifelong journey. Embrace it with an open heart, and you will find that the gateway to inner peace is always within you. Transforming loneliness into empowerment. Loneliness is a feeling we all encounter at times. It can be heavy, like a dark cloud hanging over us. But what if I told you that this feeling could be transformed into something powerful? In Buddhism, we learn that loneliness is not just something to avoid. It can be a gateway to deeper self-understanding and empowerment. When we feel lonely, it's easy to believe we are isolated and disconnected from the world. Yet, the truth is that loneliness often invites us to turn our attention inward. This inward focus can help us recognize our thoughts, emotions, and desires without the interference of others. By embracing loneliness, we create an opportunity for reflection. Think of a quiet evening when the world is asleep. You might find yourself alone, sitting in a chair or lying on your bed. Instead of feeling down, take a moment to breathe deeply and acknowledge your surroundings. This space can be your sanctuary. Instead of seeing it as an absence of connection, view it as a chance to reconnect with yourself. In moments of loneliness, we can ask ourselves important questions. What do I truly want? What makes me happy? What do I fear? These questions can lead us to profound insights about our true selves. Buddhism teaches us that understanding our own minds is a critical step towards enlightenment. By recognizing our inner desires and fears, we can start to break free from the chains that bind us to feelings of loneliness. The Buddha emphasized mindfulness, which is the practice of being fully present in each moment. When we feel lonely, practicing mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts without judgment. Instead of getting lost in a spiral of negative thoughts, we can acknowledge our feelings and let them pass like clouds in the sky. This practice reminds us that emotions are temporary and do not define who we are. In transforming loneliness into empowerment, we also discover the strength that comes from self-reliance. When we are comfortable being alone, we develop a sense of independence. We no longer rely on others for validation or happiness. This independence is a powerful force. It encourages us to pursue our passions, explore new interests, and build our lives based on our own choices. As we continue this journey, it's essential to recognize that loneliness can foster creativity. Many great artists, writers, and thinkers have found inspiration in solitude. When we are alone, we have the space to think freely, experiment, and express ourselves without the fear of judgment. This creativity can manifest in various ways, through writing, painting, music, or any other form of expression that resonates with us. Moreover, transforming loneliness into empowerment involves cultivating self-compassion. This means treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during challenging times. Instead of criticizing ourselves for feeling lonely, we can embrace these feelings as a part of our human experience. By nurturing self-compassion, we learn to be our own best friends, providing support and comfort when we need it most. Buddhism also teaches us about interconnectedness. Even in solitude, we are part of a larger tapestry of life. Recognizing this connection can help alleviate feelings of loneliness. We can remind ourselves that many others share similar feelings. We are not truly alone. We are part of a community of beings navigating the complexities of life. This awareness can transform our experience of loneliness from one of isolation to one of shared humanity. As we work to transform loneliness into empowerment, it's also important to cultivate gratitude. Reflecting on what we are grateful for, even in our solitude, can shift our perspective. It might be the warmth of the sun, the comfort of our homes, or the simple pleasure of a warm cup of tea. Focusing on gratitude helps us appreciate what we have rather than what we lack. Finally, remember that embracing loneliness is a practice, not a destination. It takes time and effort to shift our mindset from seeing loneliness as a burden to viewing it as an opportunity. Each moment spent in solitude is a chance to learn more about ourselves, to grow, and to embrace the strength that lies within us. In conclusion, loneliness can be a powerful teacher. By accepting and transforming our feelings of loneliness, we can empower ourselves to live more authentically. This journey encourages us to explore our inner worlds, embrace our creativity, and cultivate self-love. So the next time loneliness visits you, welcome it. See it not as a foe, but as an ally on your path to self-discovery and empowerment. Through the lens of Buddhism, we learn that in solitude, we can find our true strength. The role of compassion in solitude. Compassion is a beautiful word. It embodies kindness, empathy, and a deep understanding of others. But have you ever thought about how compassion relates to solitude? It's easy to assume that when we are alone, we are cut off from the world. Yet, the truth is that solitude can deepen our capacity for compassion, not only for others but for ourselves as well. In Buddhism, compassion is a fundamental principle. The teachings emphasize that true compassion begins with understanding our own suffering. When we take time to be alone, we create a space to reflect on our thoughts and feelings. It's in this solitude that we can confront our struggles, acknowledge our pain, and start to heal. By turning inward, we learn to embrace our imperfections, fostering a gentler attitude towards ourselves. Consider this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to feel vulnerable? In a world that often pushes us to be strong and self-sufficient, it can be tough to acknowledge our emotions. Solitude offers us a safe haven to explore these feelings. It gives us the freedom to cry, to ponder, and to question without the fear of judgment from others. This process of self-compassion is vital because it lays the groundwork for how we relate to the world around us. When we nurture compassion for ourselves, we become more attuned to the suffering of others. We start to recognize that everyone has their battles, even if they don't show them. This understanding transforms our loneliness into a powerful connection with humanity. We begin to see that we are not alone in our struggles. Everyone experiences pain, loss, and uncertainty. In this shared human experience, we can extend our compassion outward. Think about it. When you feel compassion for yourself, you are more likely to be patient with others. You learn to listen deeply, to offer support without judgment. Instead of rushing to fix someone's problems, you learn to simply be present. You allow them to express their feelings, just as you have learned to express yours. This presence is a gift, one that often feels like a warm hug for the soul. Let's take a moment to reflect on a simple practice that can enhance this compassionate solitude. Try setting aside a few moments each day to sit quietly, whether in nature or in the comfort of your home. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. As you inhale, think of all the things you appreciate about yourself. Acknowledge your strengths, your kindness, and your unique qualities. Then, as you exhale, visualize sending that love and understanding out into the world. Imagine it reaching others who are struggling, sharing your light with those in need. This practice is not just an exercise, it's a way to cultivate compassion. Over time, it becomes a habit that transforms how you interact with others. When you feel this sense of connectedness, your heart expands, making room for deeper compassion and understanding. Additionally, compassion in solitude allows us to reflect on our actions. When we are alone, we have the space to consider how we treat others. We can ask ourselves tough questions. Have I been kind? Have I listened deeply? Have I rushed to judgment? This introspection is vital because it encourages growth. We begin to see our patterns of behavior and can choose to change them, cultivating a more compassionate approach to our interactions. In Buddhism, the concept of metta, or loving kindness, is central. It encourages us to wish happiness and peace for all beings, including ourselves. Solitude allows us to practice metta without distractions. We can send loving thoughts to ourselves, our friends, our family, and even to those with whom we have had conflicts. This practice of expanding our circle of compassion enriches our hearts and nurtures a sense of community, even in our aloneness. But why is this so important? In a world filled with division and conflict, compassion serves as a bridge. It reminds us that we are all interconnected, that our joys and sorrows are intertwined. When we approach life from a place of compassion, we open ourselves to deeper connections with others. We begin to see the beauty in our shared humanity and the strength in our vulnerability. Moreover, solitude can provide a clear lens through which we can examine our biases and judgments. When we are alone, we have the chance to reflect on how we view others. Are there groups of people we judge harshly? Do we find it difficult to empathize with certain individuals? Solitude gives us the opportunity to confront these feelings and understand their roots. By doing so, we can work towards releasing any negative judgments, creating space for more understanding and compassion. As we practice compassion in solitude, we may also find ourselves drawn to acts of kindness in the world. We may feel inspired to volunteer, lend a hand to a neighbor, or simply smile at a stranger. These small acts can have a ripple effect, spreading kindness and compassion throughout our communities. When we take the time to care for ourselves, we are better equipped to care for others. So, how do we maintain this sense of compassion when we re-enter the busyness of life? It starts with mindfulness. Throughout the day, take moments to pause and breathe. Check in with yourself. How am I feeling? Am I being kind to myself? As you cultivate this awareness, it becomes easier to extend that compassion to those around you. In summary, the role of compassion in solitude is profound. It deepens our understanding of ourselves and others, fosters connections, and encourages a kinder world. By taking time to be alone, we can embrace our vulnerabilities, nurture our compassion, and ultimately transform our solitude into a source of strength. As we learn to be compassionate towards ourselves, we open our hearts to the suffering of others, creating a more empathetic and understanding world. In solitude, we discover not just the power of being alone, but the incredible potential of compassion to transform our lives and the lives of those around us. Through this journey, we can come to understand that being alone does not mean being isolated. Rather, it is an opportunity to connect more deeply with ourselves and with all of humanity. Spiritual growth, solitude as the catalyst for wisdom. In the stillness of solitude, one can hear the whispers of the soul. Many might think that being alone is a lonely experience, but in truth, it is often a profound journey of self-exploration and growth. Just as a seed needs time in the dark soil to grow into a mighty tree, we, too, need solitude to nurture our inner selves and develop wisdom. When we find ourselves in quiet moments, we create space to reflect on our lives. It's in this reflective space that we can examine our thoughts, emotions, and actions without the influence of others. Think of it like looking in a mirror. The more clearly we see ourselves, the better we understand our true nature. Solitude offers us that mirror, allowing us to recognize our strengths, weaknesses, and potential. Buddhism teaches that spiritual growth often arises from moments of stillness and introspection. In traditional Buddhist practices, monks often retreat into solitude to meditate and deepen their understanding of themselves and the universe. This practice is not about escaping the world, but rather embracing the essence of who we are without distractions. Through this quiet practice, they cultivate insight and compassion, which in turn fuels their spiritual journey. Consider the idea of a quiet forest. When you walk through it, you can hear the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, and the gentle flow of a nearby stream. It's peaceful, right? In that tranquility, you begin to notice things you often overlook. The intricate patterns of the bark on trees, or the way sunlight dances on the water. Just like this serene environment, solitude allows us to notice the subtleties of our lives. We become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, learning to observe them without judgment. This observation is crucial. When we can step back and observe our thoughts, we learn that they are not always facts. They can be clouds passing through the sky, temporary and changeable. In solitude, we practice letting go of those thoughts that no longer serve us. This process is like pruning a tree. By cutting away the unnecessary branches, we allow for healthier growth. Spiritual growth through solitude also encourages us to confront our fears and anxieties. When we are alone, we have the opportunity to face those uncomfortable feelings head-on. Rather than avoiding them or numbing ourselves with distractions, we can sit with them, explore their roots, and understand their origins. This process of facing our inner turmoil can be daunting, but it is often where the most significant growth occurs. Many people fear solitude because they equate it with loneliness. However, Buddhism teaches that loneliness is a state of mind. When we are comfortable in our own company, we can transform loneliness into a rich experience of solitude. It is about finding peace in our own presence, recognizing that we are enough as we are. In this state, we can cultivate a sense of wholeness that radiates into our interactions with others. As we grow spiritually through solitude, we also develop a deeper sense of empathy and compassion. When we take the time to understand our own struggles, we become more attuned to the struggles of others. This understanding allows us to connect with people on a more profound level, fostering relationships based on genuine care and support. Moreover, spiritual growth in solitude encourages us to seek our purpose. In a quiet space, we can reflect on what truly matters to us. What are our passions? What do we value most in life? These questions often get drowned out in the noise of everyday life, but solitude creates the perfect backdrop for deep exploration. Think of the story of the Buddha. After years of searching for answers in the world around him, he found profound insight through deep meditation under the Bodhi tree. It was in that solitude that he awakened to the truths of existence. His journey reminds us that sometimes we need to step away from the noise to find clarity. As we embrace solitude, we also learn to be patient with ourselves. Growth takes time, and solitude allows us to cultivate this patience. Just as a flower blooms in its own time, so too do we develop and unfold as individuals. This journey requires tenderness and understanding toward ourselves, recognizing that every step, no matter how small, is part of the process. In solitude, we can also explore creativity. Many artists, writers, and thinkers have sought solitude to find inspiration. In the quiet, our imagination can flourish without the constraints of external expectations. Whether through writing, painting, or simply daydreaming, solitude can be a fertile ground for creativity to thrive. Lastly, the spiritual growth we cultivate in solitude empowers us to share our newfound wisdom with the world. As we become more in tune with ourselves, we can guide others on their journeys. Our experiences in solitude can serve as a beacon for those seeking their path, showing them that embracing being alone can lead to profound insights and transformations. In conclusion, solitude is not merely the absence of others. It is a powerful catalyst for spiritual growth and wisdom. By embracing our alone time, we open ourselves to self-discovery, emotional resilience, and a deeper understanding of life. The journey may feel challenging at times, but the rewards are immeasurable. As we learn to find solace in solitude, we uncover the richness of our inner world and the wisdom it holds. So let us welcome solitude as a companion on our spiritual journey, for it is in that quiet space that we truly begin to grow. Spiritual growth, solitude as the catalyst for wisdom. As we enter this part of our journey, let me ask you, have you ever wondered why monks, sages, and spiritual masters throughout history often sought solitude? Why did they choose to live in quiet, remote places, far from the distractions of everyday life? It wasn't because they were avoiding people or the world. They weren't running from anything. Instead, they understood something that many of us often overlook, that solitude is not just a break from the noise, but a sacred space for profound spiritual growth and wisdom. When you are alone, something remarkable happens. The constant hum of distractions fades, and you are left with yourself. It might feel uncomfortable at first. Maybe you start hearing thoughts you've been avoiding. Maybe you notice emotions you've been pushing away. But in this space, without any external distractions, you are given the opportunity to truly see yourself, your mind, your heart, and your soul. In Buddhist practice, solitude is seen as a powerful tool for transformation. It is in this quietness that the mind can finally settle. Like a glass of muddy water, when left undisturbed, the dirt sinks to the bottom, and the water becomes clear. Our minds work the same way. In the stillness of solitude, our thoughts begin to settle, and we gain clarity. This clarity is essential for spiritual growth. The importance of solitude in Buddhism. Buddhist teachings emphasize that solitude is not just about being physically alone. It is about creating mental space as well. You can be surrounded by people and still feel an inner solitude, just as you can be physically alone but mentally distracted by worries, anxieties, or plans for the future. True solitude is about letting go of all the noise, both external and internal, and allowing yourself to be fully present. One of the Buddhist teachings that reflects this idea is about the 5 hindrances, obstacles that cloud the mind and prevent spiritual growth. These hindrances are desire, ill will, sloth, restlessness, and doubt. When we are constantly surrounded by distractions, these hindrances grow stronger. We desire more, we feel restless, and doubt creeps in. But in solitude, when we allow our minds to settle, we can begin to see these hindrances for what they are. Temporary states of mind that we can overcome with practice and mindfulness. How solitude leads to inner wisdom. So, how does solitude lead to wisdom? Let's break it down. Self-awareness. When you are alone, there's no one else to distract you from yourself. You start noticing things about your mind and emotions that you might have ignored in the past. You become more aware of your reactions, your fears, your desires, and your habits. This self-awareness is the first step toward wisdom. Without knowing yourself, how can you hope to understand the world? Reflection. Solitude gives you the time to reflect deeply. Instead of jumping from one activity to the next, you have the space to sit with your experiences, to question them, and to learn from them. This reflection allows you to see patterns in your life and make better decisions moving forward. Letting go of ego. When we're constantly interacting with others, our ego tends to get involved. We compare ourselves, we seek approval, we worry about what others think. But in solitude, there's no one to impress, no one to compete with. This gives you the chance to let go of the ego and connect with something deeper within yourself. A sense of peace that isn't tied to external validation. Connection with nature. Many people who seek solitude do so in nature, in forests, mountains, or by the sea. In these natural settings, you begin to feel a deeper connection with the world around you. You realize that you are not separate from nature, but a part of it. This understanding brings a sense of humility and awe, which is essential for spiritual growth. Inner peace. As you spend more time in solitude, you begin to cultivate a sense of inner peace. You become less reactive to the ups and downs of life. This doesn't mean you won't experience challenges or difficult emotions, but you'll learn to respond to them with greater calmness and clarity. This inner peace is one of the greatest gifts of solitude. Solitude as a daily practice. Now, you might be thinking, I can't retreat to the mountains or live like a monk. How can I experience the benefits of solitude in my busy life? The good news is that you don't need to isolate yourself completely to practice solitude. Solitude can be woven into your daily routine in small, simple ways. Here are a few ways you can incorporate solitude into your life. Morning quiet time. Start your day with a few minutes of silence. Before checking your phone, before the rush of the day begins, sit quietly with yourself. This doesn't have to be long. Even 5 or 10 minutes can make a difference. Use this time to simply breathe and be present. Mindful breaks. Throughout your day, take short breaks to disconnect from the noise. Step outside for a walk, sit in a quiet corner, or even close your eyes for a minute. Use these moments to clear your mind and reconnect with yourself. Evening reflection. At the end of the day, spend a few minutes reflecting on your experiences. What went well? What challenged you? How did you respond to situations? This reflection helps you gain insight and learn from your daily life. Digital detox. Set aside time each day to disconnect from technology. Turn off your phone, step away from the computer, and give yourself space to just be. This not only reduces distractions, but also helps you become more mindful of how you spend your time. Solitude in nature. If possible, spend time in nature regularly. Whether it's a park, a garden, or a hiking trail, being in nature helps you reconnect with the present moment and brings a sense of peace. The fear of being alone. For many people, the idea of solitude can be intimidating. We live in a culture that often equates being alone with loneliness, and loneliness is something most of us try to avoid. But solitude and loneliness are not the same. Solitude is a choice, a conscious decision to spend time with yourself. Loneliness, on the other hand, is a feeling of disconnection, even when you are surrounded by people. In solitude, you are not disconnected. You are deeply connected with yourself in the present moment. It is in this space that you can truly hear the whispers of your heart and the wisdom that lies within. Wisdom through solitude. Solitude, when embraced with intention, becomes a gateway to wisdom. It helps you see clearly, reflect deeply, and connect with the world in a more meaningful way. It allows you to step back from the busyness of life and tap into the deeper truths that often get lost in the noise. So, as we near the end of this part, I encourage you to embrace moments of solitude in your life. Don't be afraid of being alone. Instead, see it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to connect with the wisdom that resides within you. Through solitude, you will not only find peace, but also unlock the potential for deep spiritual growth and transformation. Conclusion: embracing aloneness as a way of life. Welcome, once again, to the final part of our journey. If you've stayed with me through these teachings, you've already taken a significant step toward understanding something most people fear or avoid: being alone. But now, here we are, at the end of this path, ready to bring everything together. What does it really mean to embrace aloneness? Why is it so important for a fulfilling life? And how can we walk this path with confidence, knowing that being alone is not something to run from but something to embrace? Let's begin by reflecting on everything we've covered so far. We've explored the beauty of silence, learned to sit with our thoughts, and discovered that the distractions of the world often lead us away from who we truly are. Through the lens of Buddhism, we've come to understand that solitude isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about reconnecting with yourself and finding peace within. Think about it for a moment. How often have you filled your time with activities, people, or things just to avoid feeling alone? It's common in our modern world to seek constant company, endless entertainment, and even digital distractions to escape that feeling of being by yourself. But what if I told you that aloneness is where true freedom lies? Now, many of you might think, but doesn't being alone lead to loneliness? This is a natural question, and one that many people ask. But the truth is, there's a profound difference between aloneness and loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, a craving for connection that isn't there. It comes from a place of lack, of needing others to fill a void inside. Aloneness, on the other hand, is a state of fullness. It's where you feel complete just as you are, without needing external validation or constant companionship. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that everything we need is already within us. When we practice being alone, we create space to listen to our inner voice, to understand our true nature, and to find clarity in our purpose. This is where real growth happens. Solitude is like fertile soil. When you plant the seeds of mindfulness and self-awareness in it, they blossom into wisdom and peace. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, quiet forest. There's no one around, just the sound of the wind through the trees and the birds in the distance. In that moment, you feel the depth of your connection to everything around you, yet you're completely alone. This is what embracing aloneness feels like. It's not an escape from the world, but a deeper immersion in it. You become aware of the beauty of life in its simplest form. Throughout our journey, we've talked about how solitude can lead to greater self-awareness, peace, and even creativity. But embracing aloneness goes beyond just moments of silence or meditation. It's about integrating that quiet, reflective state into your everyday life. When you truly embrace aloneness, you no longer fear being by yourself. Instead, you find strength in it. In Buddhism, monks and practitioners often spend long periods in solitude, not because they want to isolate themselves, but because they understand that true wisdom comes from within. Solitude becomes a sacred space where you can meet yourself fully, without distractions, without masks. This is where you can see your thoughts, emotions, and desires clearly and understand them without judgment. The idea of aloneness is not just for monks or spiritual seekers. It's something that every one of us can embrace in our daily lives. Whether you take a few moments each day to sit in silence, spend a weekend retreating from the noise of the world, or simply choose to walk a quieter path in life, embracing aloneness brings you closer to the truth of who you are. Now, you might wonder, what happens when I embrace this path? Will I lose connections with others? Will I become distant? The answer is quite the opposite. When you embrace aloneness, you actually become more present with others. You're no longer dependent on others to fill your emotional needs, so you can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than need. You bring more to your relationships because you've taken the time to nourish yourself. This is one of the greatest gifts of solitude. We live in a world that constantly tells us to do more, be more, and connect more. But in that constant striving, we lose touch with ourselves. Embracing aloneness is a radical act in today's society. It's choosing to step back, reflect, and find peace in just being. It's choosing to value your inner world as much as, if not more than, the external world. So, how do you begin to embrace aloneness as a way of life? Start small. Find moments in your day where you can be alone with your thoughts, even if it's just for a few minutes. Turn off your phone, sit in a quiet room, and breathe. Notice how it feels to be with yourself. At first, it might be uncomfortable. Your mind may wander, and you may feel the urge to check your messages or fill the silence. But with time, you'll come to appreciate these moments of solitude as a space where you can recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your true self. As you embrace aloneness more and more, you'll begin to notice changes in your life. You'll feel more at peace, less anxious, and more centered. You'll stop seeking validation from others and instead find a deep sense of contentment within yourself. And when challenges arise, as they inevitably will, you'll have the inner strength and clarity to face them with grace and wisdom. Before we close this journey together, I want to remind you that aloneness is not something to fear. It's a gift that allows you to know yourself deeply, to find peace and stillness, and to live a life that is aligned with your true nature. In the words of the Buddha, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. When you embrace aloneness, you're giving yourself that love and attention you deserve. Thank you for walking this path with me, for listening, and for opening your mind and heart to the power of solitude. As we part ways for now, I encourage you to take what you've learned and apply it to your own life. Find those quiet moments, embrace the stillness, and trust that in aloneness, you will find the strength and wisdom to navigate this beautiful journey of life. And finally, if this journey has resonated with you, if you found value in these teachings, I invite you to like, comment, and share this video. There are so many views on this channel, yet only 0.2% of you have subscribed. Help us grow this community of wisdom seekers by subscribing to Wisdom Woven. Together, we can continue to explore the deeper truths of life and share the insights that lead to a more peaceful and fulfilled existence. Thank you, and may you find peace on your journey of solitude.